This is Amud Yomi Gemara and Shabbos Daf Mem Tes Amud Beis on the bottom of Mem Tes Amud Aleph, and we just finished the Mishnah of Hatmana, and the Mishnah differentiated between Bishlachim, and the Mishnah started getting involved in Mitaltalin. When you let him move these Shlachim, when you let him move these animal hides, Rav Loz ben Azariah with the Kupas. Let's begin the Gemara. Says the Gemara, Yasser Yechon ben Achinai, Rav Yonasan ben Elazar, on the bottom of Mem Tes Amud Aleph. They had a shayla. Shlachin shel balabayis. Is the Mishnah talking about shlachim, the hides of a balabayis, which you don't plan on selling them, and therefore you wouldn't really care to use them? Aval. However, if it's shlachin shel uman of a craftsman, which what? Kimin de kapit alayu. The craftsman plans on utilizing these hides. Therefore, loy metaltal lehu. Therefore, you're not allowed to move it. That's one way of learning the first part of the Mishnah when it said you're allowed to do atmana with shlachim, with the hides. Or maybe the Mishnah is teaching me, even though you're makbid on these hides, and even though you want to eventually sell them one day, but still, that it's mutter, so that is how Rav Yonasan ben Elazar held. On the end of Mem Tes Amud Aleph, Rav Chanina ben Chama comes along and says, Kach Amar Rav Yishmael bar Rav Yosi. That what? As we turn over, Abba Shaloch Ahava. Says Rav Yishmael bar Rav Yosi, my father was a shlocha, was a tanner. And he would say, bring the hides so we could sit on them. Meaning, even though he was an uman, even though he was a professional, he still would utilize the hides for non-professional usages. He would sit on them, etc. And therefore, says the Gemara, he argues and says the Mishnah would be referring to even the shlachim of an uman and allow one to use them. Meisvei asked the Gemara, and the son says the price beams, wood of a balabais you can move. Why? Because an uman is more makbid on his wood because he wants to utilize it for his craft, etc. It says the price of him. If he thought about it on Erev Shabbos to use it for the bread, he wants to serve it on this board. But what do we see? We see of an uman, it is makbid. Says the Gemara, Nisarim in general, one is makbid, so you can't ask from that case. Tashmat says the Gemara, Ayres bin Avudim in Shein Avudim B'Talton B'Shabbos. Ayres hides with their tender, now you let them move them. When do they say that it makes a difference if it's tanned? It's only with regard to Tama. Once it's tanned, it's Mekabel Toma because it's finished. When it's not tanned, it's not Mekabel Toma. But with regard to Mital, to remove it, you let it move it in all cases. My love. Says the Gemara, when the price doesn't make a difference. Answers the Gemara, classically lie. The price is referring to Shabbat Albayis, but you don't have a raya to that which belonged to an uman. Ask the Gemara, the classical cash. Everyone could already anticipate what's about to happen. If it's the hides of an uman, what are you going to tell me? Ein mitaltlin. Ihachi, the classical gasha. It says that it's hot. That it said that it loy amru avudim tam with regard to toma. Classically, liflik v'listabidi day. We should differentiate within the case itself. Now what? Then it's going to be aser. Answers the Gemara. Kula balabayis kamari. The whole price is talking about balabayis. So says the Gemara, you don't have a raya from that price. So the Gemara is trying to figure out what is the status of moving the shlach and the hides of an uman. Says the Gemara, Kitanoi, 15 lines down. The first one line is Kamairi. Says the Gemara, it is a machlokes tanoyim. Irish valabayis metal to the son. Shall uman ein metal to the son? Rav Yosi Omer achazev achazev metal to the son. So we see a clear machlokes in the hides of a uman. Says the Gemara, Hadar Yosef coming by a lay. So we started off on the bottom of Amud Aleph. Rav Yosef ben Achinai, Rav Yonasan ben Elazar, Rav Chanina ben Chama are all sitting around and they were discussing this case. Says the Gemara, these three Amarayim were once again sitting and asking Hadar Tanan. That which we learned in a Mishnah is going to be on Daf Ayin Gimel Avos Melachas Arba'am Chazer Achas. 39 milachas kineged me. Amalu Rav Chanina bar Chama kineged avodas mishkan. The classical answer: 39 milachas are The avoidance in the Mishkan. Amar Rav Yonasan Rav Elazar Kacham Rav Shimon Yosi ben Elokonia Keneged Malacha Melachtai Umeleches Shabbat Torah. The word Malacha in the Torah is mentioned Arba'im Chaser Achas 39 times. By Rabbi Yosef, so go count, and then what happens when you count? It doesn't add up. As Rabbi Yosef, you have Melachtai Yosef Atzadik. He came to do his work. Miminyanahu Allah is part of the count. Says the Gemara smack in middle of Memtaz Beis Amar Le Abaye. The first one in line is Velesi Sefer Torah V'Lemni. I don't understand. Go and count. Mila Amar Rabbi Chanam Rabbi Yechon Lozazim Misham Hashem Zev we found in a different story. Rabbi Chanam went and he counted. So let's count and see if this word Malacha is part of it or not. Amar Le Rabbi Yosef said, Kika Misabkeli Misham Dechsem. My shaila is it says V'Malacha Isadayim. So the question is, it says Amalacha Isadayim, and then it says V'Yevo Lasas Malachtai. Miminyano is the word Malacha over there. Malacha Isadayim is that part of the count, meaning he's referring to doing work, or is referring to the work that they did. And then when it says the Yosef Tzaddik came in, it meant to do his work, meaning meant to do that with Baitifar. We do count that one because it's talking about actual work, malacha, like we're talking about on Shabbos. So my shayla is, I know the count, I just don't know which one is number 39. Says the Gemara, Teku, we're going to have to wait for Eliyahu Hanavi for that one. And one last Gemara, the Gemara says, Tani Command Amar Keneged Avodas HaMishkan. So we have a Machlekes, or the 39, because Malachais, or is it Avodas HaMishkan? Says the Gemara, let's bring a raya from Rabbi Isa. Titania. Only chayav for things that were similar. In the Mishkan, name Zaru, they planted atem lo tizru, do plantim katu, they kav atem lo tixru. Hey, Malu, as a crush, they picked up the crush, and mikarkula golav atem lo tixru, mirushazaram, the shiziyach, and therefore the Yisrael saw. Hey, Mayridu, as a crush, make gola karkula, they brought it down from the wagon, atem lo tizru, mirushazaych, l'shazarabim. Hey, Moitzi, my gola, they brought from wagon to wagon, atem lo tizru, mirushazaych, l'shazayachid. So says the Gemara, we see in this price that clearly is mimicking the malachas they did. My God, says, bro, 1 second. What does it mean? What's wrong going one to the next? They were passing over the things from one wagon to the next. On top of Shasarabim, so Gemara concludes with a raya to the Manda Amar that says that it has to do with the malachas that were done in the Mishkan, as we see in this brisa, that it is the same thing. We stop over here. We'll pick it up with the two dots. Gizei Semer, B'siyata Dishmaya.